Hey everybody, it's Jill. I decided to do a get ready with me video on a total and complete whim this morning. I was gonna live stream to YouTube, which I've never done before. I don't have a very big channel. So if you wanna subscribe and make me feel good, that'd be great. But I have been sort of wanting to do some makeup videos for a while, mostly because I don't like watching 20-somethings do makeup tutorials for mature skin, telling us what we can and can't do, or what we should and should not do with our faces. So I decided to dabble and do my own. I've done one for kind of an outdoor look, and I'm gonna do this one. I had to activate my my flux capacitor or whatever, so I could do the YouTube live. So apparently that takes 24 hours. So hope to try that in the future. But I am, just a little bit about me, I am 52 years old, and I have no makeup on right now, nothing. I am super sleep deprived right now. I've had about 2 hours of sleep last night, so if I look older and tireder than I should be, that is probably why. I have a normal, pale, kind of ruddy skin, and I have a little bit of Botox between my eyes. So I'm gonna call this, and I'm totally making this up as I go along, I'm gonna do what I call like an elevated day look. It's just kind of a little bit more oomph than every day, because I'm gonna have some pictures taken, and I'm gonna put a little bit more makeup on than I usually would. This is totally unsponsored. All of the makeup in my little caboodle box here, I paid for it with my own hard-earned dollar bills. So the first thing I'm going to use, I'm going to tell you about what I'm using and why I like it or don't like it, is Angel Veil Primer from NYX, NYX. It's a drugstore brand that I started using like super recently. I really, really like it. But I think if you're going to wear foundation, you need to wear primer. At least I do, otherwise it comes off. But I'm using, and that's probably too much, it's the size of about a pea. And I put this on with my fingers. You know, nothing fancy here. If I were fancy with the video editing, I'd be doing like speeding this up right now. But let's see, I'm going to use some eyeshadow primer. I have a specific primer that I use when I'm going to do eyeshadow, and this is Thank Me Later by Elizabeth Mott. So I use just a little tiny smidgy. Smidgy is a super technical term, and put that just on my eyes like this. And then the next step is going to be concealer. And you're probably saying, Jill, please put on some concealer. You're going somewhere with that luggage. But this is Maybelline Master Conceal. And obviously another drugstore brand. I am sort of meh on the Maybelline. I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. I'll probably try something else the next time I buy concealer. And I've been experimenting with those like tone concealers like red and green. This is kind of my go-to for every day. So I put it under my eyes. I also use a little brush to get this like hyperpigmented spot right there. And I have another one up here, but my hair usually covers it. So foundation is going to cover that. I may hit that one again, and then I usually kind of do the residue. I've got this like little, like these red spots around my nose. So I blend it on. See, this is where if I were like editing my videos like a smart person, that this would be, where I'd speed it up or put some like fun sound effects. We're not there yet. Gotta start somewhere. Happy it's Friday. I am intermittent fasting. This is my third day of intermittent fasting, so that's going pretty well. So obviously you can still see the concealer. I'm going to blend it with my foundation. I am a big fan of drugstore beauty products, but I do have a few in here that are more like splurgy, and this is one of them. It's I drop stuff all the time, so let's all just take a deep breath and hope I can get through this video without dropping my stuff on the floor, because otherwise you probably see a view of me that you don't want to see. Clarins Skin Illusion. I got this off of Amazon, and it was a splurgy. You only need a little bit. I'm only going to use about that much, and I'm going to apply it with a sponge from e.l.f. I got it at Walmart, I think. I might have gotten it at Amazon. I started, and I'm not using a whole lot, but you don't need to use a whole lot when you use the sponge. And this was recommended as being you know, a good foundation for mature skin. I think I got the shade a little bit too light, but it provides a light coverage. It feels nice on my skin. And it has some decent staying powder, but it was at a price point that I don't really love. I order my sponges now on a subscription service from Amazon so that I always have a nice clean one. I don't have to run out. I'm starting to do that more with like my coffee and toilet paper and stuff like that to sort of streamline my time. Now I am hoping, and now that I've said something, Mother Nature is probably going to come back and bite me in the butt. I'm hoping the hot flashes, or the worst of them, are over and I can start wearing a little bit more makeup now. But I'm going to put some contour on. This is another NYX drugstore product, and I'm going to use a small flat brush, I think. Yeah, there it is, to put it on just right in the bottom of my cheekbones. And I still actually have some residue on this brush, which is good, but just a little bit right there to just kind of give that defined look. But now that I don't feel like my freaking face is going to melt off, I'm using that one right there. I haven't really played around with these other colors in here. I haven't had this very long. But now that my face is not, you know, melting off every time I go outside, you know, I can do, you know, a little bit more of the contouring things. And I got this one, you know, too much up there. I wasn't like planning on doing that, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna blend anyway. This is my blending sponge from e.l.f. I love this thing. I'd probably make out with it if I could, but that would probably be weird. So I'm blending. Yeah, I got that way too far up there. With makeup, you know, I always try to apply it like really lightly at first so I can go back and put more on. If you like put too much on in one spot, it's kind of hard to deal with, as you can see. But I think I blended that out. Well, cream blush. I like cream blush for mature skin because it doesn't settle in your fine lines and wrinkles as much as powder. And this one is from Burt's Bees. It's a glow stick. It's a cheek and lipstick, and I can use it as a lipstick also. It doesn't have great staying power on your lips. So I just do just a little bit in the apples like that, and then I'm ready for the day. Ha, just kidding. Obviously, I'm gonna just blend the crap out of this here. And I just want just like a really like super natural, you know, pinky, you know, nice, healthy, blended blushy blush thing, not the clown spots there. So it looked like one of my kids did my makeup for me. But this sponge is amazing. I really like it. I use this side for doing my face, and then this little tip there for doing, you know, like smaller areas like around my eyes for my eyeshadow, and I really, really like it a lot. But see, I look like I have, you know, better cheekbones than I do naturally, but I don't look like I'm all blushed up or made up. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a highlighter, and this one, it's a L'Oreal Lumi highlighter. I'm gonna go ahead and use a powder just because I really, really like this one. And this is one of the things that the younger beauty bloggers say that women my age shouldn't do. And I tell you, nothing pisses a woman off more than, you know, hearing "at your age" as a preface to any sentence. We don't like that. Whoa, this thing's gonna fall, and that would not be good. But it's got 4 different colors in it. I do really like highlighter. I don't use a lot. I don't want that like blinding look on my cheekbones, but I like a little bit of this luminous look. And when I started going through menopause and started getting the hot flashes, I started, you know, embracing that more sort of shiny, dewy look instead of the matte look that I used to really like, just because I was sweaty all the time. And I sort of started to like it, so I put a little bit in there, and I blended it pretty well with the brush, but I'm going to blend it again in a second. But I always swipe some up here because I don't do a whole lot with eyeshadow, so I just like that little swish up there. But I always say less is more. You can always go back and put more stuff on, but taking stuff off is a little bit harder. So blend that in. I'm going to put a little bit more blush on, or as my grandma used to say, rouge. You don't need to be wearing all that rouge, Jill. So I'm just going to do just a little bit more color because I'm going to do some pictures today. So I want, and not going to do them for about another hour or so. So I want, a nice, a nice looking makeup that's not going to make me look clowny, but I also don't want to look washed out. I might put some bronzer on here when I'm done. I'll just sort of see, and I have another like hyperpigmented spot up there, so that's what that is, and it's really prominent when I'm tired, and I really am right now. So I'm going to wipe my hands off really quick, and then I'm going to, these are these little like Neutrogena wipes. You can buy them by the pallet at Costco. That was almost ugly. I'm going to do my brows. I have another little NYX product, NYX. I don't know if it's NYX or NYX, but it's a brow, this can be dangerous, a brow gel. Looks like that. Looks like a little mascara thingy do, and it has just a really like tiny little thing. And I have fairly sparse and light brows, so I just and fairly natural. I just put just a little bit on them. If I'm not, gussing up like I am today, I put more of a clear brow gel on them. It doesn't give me any extra color, but it kind of, makes me feel a little bit more finished and polished. So there we go. All right, and then I'm gonna use one of my fancy brands of eyeshadow. I used this yesterday and I really liked the way it looked, and I liked the way it stayed on, but it's Tarteist Pro To Go. So it's from, it could be Tarte, it could be Tarte. It is not a drugstore brand, but I got this little palette. And you know what I think I wanna be when I grow up? I think I wanna be the person who names eyeshadows, because these have names like Crisp and Hope and Drive and Dominate and Boss, and my other palette that I use has like Virgin and Sin and Smoke. So that would be a really cool job, to be the person who names eyeshadow. But I usually do like super neutrally. I'm gonna use the Dominate, which is kind of like a purpley color. And yes, 20-year-old beauty bloggers, this is a shimmery stage, so clutch your pearls or look away. But I'm gonna do just a really light, like swish, windshield wiper kind of motion there in the crease. And the reason I like eyeshadow with a little bit of shimmer in it, not a glitter, but a shimmer, is because it's more forgiving if you're sort of a sloppy makeup applicator type person. This is easier to blend, easier to work with. This is a brush I got in my Ipsy subscription, and I'm in love with it. So I do just a little bit there. Starting off really light. I think I'm gonna go back over it again with some more burgundy, but I try to be symmetrical like when I do this. I try to do one and then the other, just so I sort of maintain some symmetry when I'm doing stuff. But I'm just going back and forth really lightly in the crease. And I usually, for every day, I usually just wear, I'm just gonna heavy hand it just a little bit more. I do just a really light kind of golden beige color, and I just dust it on my lids and forget about it. But I want something just a little bit more colorful today. And then I blend it right there. You remember that movie Stepmom back in the, I don't know when it was made, with Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts, where she was drawing little trees, and she was going when she was drawing the trees. I kind of sometimes do that with my makeup and make the sound. But yeah, just blending a little bit. And then I'm going to use this this other color right here, Boss. So I've got Dominate and Boss. So today's going to be a good day, right? I'm just going to just put a little bit, kind of down in there, and just kind of muddy it all together. So I'm just kind of going slightly below where I was going before, and then just, kind of blending it all in. There. I think that's about as good as it gets today. And then I'm going to use my little blendy thing just to kind of, get it blended just a little bit more, And then I'm going to use my fancy kabuki brush to kind of dust and clean up anything like that. Let's see, my brush with my highlighter on it, I'm just going to, dip a little bit more on there And that's my finished eyes today. I am going to put on a little bit of eyeliner. I do not typically wear eyeliner. I don't like it. I usually will use like a darker brown eyeshadow and kind of go under the lash line. I never do the waterline, but this is just a plain brown pencil from NYX, and I'm going to do just a really light line. Under the eyes, just to give it a little more. And then I'm going to do a lip liner. This is the only lip liner I can find. I own 2 other lip liners. I own a brand new NYX one that's kind of a nude pink color, and then I have one that came in my Ipsy bag that's a wine color that I'd like to use right now. Who uses 2 lip liners? I don't know. They're probably in the bottom of one of my bags. I have no idea where this come from. I don't do anything to try to change the shape of my lip, and I'm doing this as much to sort of keep a base of color on my lip than I am to like define my lip. I wish I had a little bit more of a cupid's bow right here, but I feel silly when I try to draw it on. And I'm going to use this. It's a little sort of experimenting with it. I'm supposed to be traveling next week, and I'm sort of paring down my essentials. And I've got this teeny tiny little trial size of lip stuff from Tarte or Tarte, however we're saying it. So I'm trying to play with this one. I used it yesterday. I'm going to try something different. It doesn't have great staying power. After I was out for an hour yesterday and had something to eat, I looked in the mirror and it looked, it was mostly gone. So, and this is a dark lipstick for me. I'm going to put just a little bit on, and it's really dark and glossy. And I use my finger there. Kind of right there, just more of a stain than a gloss. And then I carry a chapstick around with me just about everywhere I go. I have car chapsticks and purse chapsticks and my other car chapstick. But this is called a Glossy Bomb, and I laugh every time I see this one. I share it with people. It's Jersey Shore Cosmetics. So after I get done fixing my face, I'm gonna go put a bump it on the top of my hair. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I am basically done except for a couple of things. I'm gonna go ahead and put a bronzer on, if I can find my bronzer. I still feel like I'm a little like wash it out. So I'm gonna do just a little bit of bronzer in the C, and you can't really see that much of this, which is good. This is another Burt's Bees product that I got at Walmart. I really like Burt's Bees. I like the mission behind their products, and I like the price point. Obviously, I'm blending, and I just I like them. I like the way they work. Just maybe just a little bit more. And then I'm going to do a setting spray. I will tell you my favorite setting spray. I think I might have one more good squirts out of it. This is a dewy finish. They also make a matte finish. It's from NYX, and it's almost out. I really like sort of the dewy look, but this is one, I got this in my Christmas stocking. It's a Tarte sea spray or something. It smells really good. Actually, when we were on our most recent trip to Tempe, Arizona, my husband used this as bathroom spray after he pooped, thinking that's what it was. So there's your little giggle for the day. So that was probably too much, but might smell good, but it doesn't taste good. So it's gonna dry. It's not gonna give me that super wet look, but I am gonna put on a little bit of mascara, and I am using Better Than Sex mascara. Jury's still out on whether it is actually Better Than Sex. I'm gonna say that it's probably not better than Sex. It is not a drugstore brand. It is a splurge. Mascara is one of the things that I always splurge on. And I like this one okay. And I forgot to put setting powder on. I don't typically use a lot of powder because it tends to settle in my fine lines. But I will probably, when I touch up before I get my pictures done, I'll probably put a little bit extra on. But this is my powder brush, and I think that probably one of the reasons I like putting powder on so much is because I really like that brush. But this mascara is kind of growing on me. I don't love the price point. I'll do the gaping fish thing that we always do when we put mascara on. I have a love-hate relationship with mascara. I have really long, sandy eyelashes, so I need a little something on them. But I hate putting it on. I hate wearing it. I hate taking it off. I hate curling my eyelashes, although I probably need to. I thought about getting those eyelash extensions because they look really pretty, like you're wearing false eyelashes all the time. But you know, I think they look weird when you're like going to the gym or to the grocery store and you have these like big spidery lashes on. So just I do a fairly light mascara. I really like, you know what I really like is brown mascara, and it's hard to find the dark brown. Just a tiny bit on my lower lashes, like a tiny, tiny bit. Okay,